with PowerPricer, price optimization can go a lot further as well. Let me give you first an example of a more complex industry with complex sales, with a combination of service and supplies and equipment, etc. So this is an example from the computer industry. Okay, and here is the salesperson preparing a pro forma for the particular client, and what he does is that he adds a number of products. Okay, he selects them, he defines the quantity of each of those products, preparing his quotes, and of course the next step is to add the accessories, supplies, guarantees, etc., and services potentially that should normally belong with a particular product. So our system automatically suggests what are the typical accessories that you might need and potential quantities. Of course, you can modify them depending on particular wishes of the clients to complete the order, typically to a B2B client, which is going to be quite significant, and it's going to be a complex order. Okay, so each individual product price here becomes a lot less relevant. What counts is really the overall price compared to the value perceived, and of course the discount, the level of discount granted to that particular type of client. So when you look at the overall order, we have something like here very significant in the hundreds of thousands of euros, and the client is quite likely to make his decision on the overall value perceived, on how good the response to his need is, and on the overall competitive situation and discount granted. Okay, so from a salesperson perspective, what we're dealing with is a key worry about what is the appropriate level of discount to give to that particular client in this particular competitive context. And clearly the decision will be influenced by our image, who we are, the amount of discount we provide, and also who the competition is, who are the usual suppliers, we're challenger or dominant suppliers to that particular client, and what level of discount, what are the conditions that we're granting to that particular client to win in a particular situation. Okay, and that's a hard decision. So what we do in the system, we try to support the decision with a number of factors. First, as you see on the left, we have a very detailed history available of deals won and lost with that particular client. So that gives us a first level of context. And of course, what we would like to do is to try to influence our probability based on how desired we are to have that particular sale and what the effect would be on our profitability. So the way to do that is through what we call the win-loss analysis. Okay, and we do that, we push it a bit further than normal. We've developed in that particular instant a database of past bids won and lost with clients similar to this particular client. And for each, we've now put a certain number of factors which can influence or impact the probability of win and loss. Of course, discount differential, of course, who we're competing against, size of the order, and what we want to do is we want to understand, based on that and based on the best of our knowledge available, what is the probability of winning in this particular instance. Okay, and the beauty of the system is that it enables you to run the regression and to actually use results from past bids to better plan a result of future bids. Okay, so what you see here is a result of previous simulation, previous regression that we've done, which basically explains the probability of winning and losing such deals in that particular type of context based on a number of factors, including discount differential, of course, including the type of selling situation and the client segment. Okay, so with the system, of course, we can use all the data, including the latest data, and we can visualize here the result in terms of what are the functions, how does the model compare to real life. So the model is the red line you see on the right, okay, and the real data is the blue line, which is a bit less straight, of course, than the model. And you can visualize that globally, or you can visualize that on a segment by segment basis to look at the impact of discount positioning on probability of winning the particular deal. Okay, and of course the curves can be quite different from one segment to the other, but for each particular client, of course, the model will use the equation that relates to the segment that the client belongs to. Okay, but you can see that thanks to that we have now much better reliability in our prediction, in our ability to estimate the win likelihood depending on our particular positioning and the competitive situation. Okay, so the model then pushes it further in terms of either evaluating the probability of winning on at a particular discount level, and how that might in fact not only just winning that deal but overall profitability, and it can also go all the way to optimizing what is the best offer to give if my objective is to maximize either sale or profitability. Okay, and we can choose to retain or not retain that the value provided and it's recommended by the model, and if we do, we can directly quote at that level, or if for one reason or another, of course, we can go a bit away from that particular model. So this is how the model works, and thanks to that, of course, we optimize the profitability of that particular deal because we know what is the appropriate level of discount to give to that particular situation in this particular context. Very powerful tool, great for bottom line, great support for the sales force, and really a key feature.